Now this is the table. Some elements are given along with their configuration. Question is identify the elements that form an ionic compound. We know ionic compounds are formed when their electronic configuration is that means there are, if for example, two compounds, then one has either one or two electrons in the outermost orbit, another element have either 6 or 7 element in the outermost orbit, so that electrons can easily be transferred from one element to another. So from here, A has 1 electron in outermost orbit and C has 7 electrons in outermost orbit. So A and C can form the ionic compound, and option number D is the right answer. Now this is a table. Some elements zinc, copper, aluminum are given, and copper sulfate, ferrous sulfate and zinc sulfate are also given. That means when zinc react with copper sulfate, tick means it reacts with copper sulfate. Zinc reacts with ferrous sulfate, it reacts with ferrous sulfate. But zinc reacts with zinc sulfate, it does not react with zinc sulfate. This chart means that. Now we have to find the order of reactivity of the metal. That means which element is most reactive. Whether zinc is reactive, copper is reactive and aluminum is reactive. We can observe here aluminum reacts with all of them. So aluminum is the most reactive. Okay. After that, zinc reacts with 2 of them. That means on the number 2, zinc, and copper doesn't react with any of them. That means copper. So the option number 4, aluminum is most reactive, then zinc, then copper. This is our proper answer. So in this way, we can easily find the reactivity of the metals. The table shows the reaction of few elements with HCl and NaOH. Which of the elements form amphoteric oxides? Now table is given to us. That means these are the 4 elements A, B, C, D. That means A does not react with HCl, A does not react with NaOH. B reacts with both of them. C reacts with HCl but not with NaOH. D reacts with both of them. Now what are the amphoteric oxides? Now here they react with HCl and NaOH. That means this is acid and this is base. HCl is an acid and this is base. And the elements which form with both acid and base, all the oxides which have both the reactions with acid and base, these are known as amphoteric oxides. So both B and D, they both react with acid and base. So B and D are the amphoteric oxides. Now this is a chart of the parent acid and parent base. Okay. Now the question is, which of the option represents the parent acid and parent base for potassium carbonate? Now what is the formula for potassium carbonate? Potassium means K, carbonate matlab KCO3. Okay. So from here, if we observe, here it is Cl, it is K. So this is not. This is K, this is phosphate, this is not. K sulfate, this is not. Here we have CO3 and K. So option number B is the right answer. Watch this question. The electronic configuration of some compounds are given here, and according to that their formula is also given there in front of that. Okay, their formula is given. Which is wrongly formed, यानी इसमें से कौन सा फॉर्मूला गलत है, तो हमें ये सब निकालने पड़ेंगे. तो आप 1 by 1 देखिए. अगर आप A देखेंगे तो A में लास्ट में 1 है तो इसकी वैलेंसी 1 हो गई. B में लास्ट में 6 है तो 6 नहीं लेते हैं हम, 8 को 6 से माइनस करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा -2. तो इसकी वैलेंसी क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करके बनेगा A2B, और यहाँ पर A2B लिखा है, यानी ये वाला जो फॉर्मूला है ये मेरा करेक्ट है, ये फॉर्मूला करेक्ट है. अब सेकंड देखिए, बी में 6 है यानी बी की वैलेंसी हो गई -2, सी में 7 है यानी सी की वैलेंसी हो गई -1, यानी बी में वैलेंसी जाएगी 1 और सी में वैलेंसी जाएगी 2, तो BC2 बना, लेकिन यहां पर B2C लिखा है, यानी ये वाला जो सेकेंड वाला फॉर्मूला है ये मेरा गलत हो गया। थर्ड देखिए, यहाँ पे वैलेंसी 7 लिखी है तो 8 में से 7 माइनस कर देंगे तो यहाँ पर C की वैलेंसी हो गई 1, D है ये 3 है, जब अगर 4 से वैलेंसी कम होती है तो वही वैलेंसी हम ले लेते हैं। अब क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो C3 और D, यहाँ पर देखिए C3 और D लिखा है, यानी ये वाला फॉर्मूला भी हमारा करेक्ट है। चलिए नेक्स्ट देखते हैं, E की वैल्यू 6 है यानी E की वैलेंसी 8 में से 6 गया 2, और F की वैलेंसी बाहर की उसमें 2 लिखी हुई है, ये 2 और 2 कैंसिल हो जाएगा, इसका फॉर्मूला बनेगा EF, वहां पर ये लिखा है, यानी ये वाला मेरा गलत है, यानी सेकंड और फोर्थ वाला ऑप्शन मेरा गलत है, तो यहां से मेरा बी ऑप्शन जो है वो हमारा राइट आंसर होगा। तो इस तरीके से हम लोग फॉर्मूले प्रिपेयर करते हैं। Now there's a graph in front of us which shows the pH value in different years 2008, 2012, 2016, in which year the concentration of hydrogen ion is the highest. Now, according to the concept of the pH, at 7 it is neutral and greater than 7, 14, it becomes basic, and here it is acidic from 1. Okay, so whenever it is acidic it is hydrogen ion and here it is hydroxyl ion. Okay, so which has less pH value, which has less pH value has higher H plus concentration, जिसकी pH वैल्यू कम होगी उसके अंदर हाइड्रोनियम कंसंट्रेशन ज्यादा होगा, वो ज्यादा एसिडिक होगा। 3 बातें याद रखना, जिसकी pH वैल्यू जैसे 1 है pH वैल्यू, वो वैल्यू कम है तो उसमें हाइड्रोजन आयन कंसंट्रेशन ज्यादा होता है, बिल्कुल याद रखना, और वो चीज एसिडिक होती है। तो यहाँ पर जैसे pH वैल्यू बनी है तो यहाँ देखिए ये 4 है, यहाँ पे ये 5 है, ये 3 है, ये 6 है, तो pH वैल्यू जिसकी कम है, pH वैल्यू जिसकी लेस माने कम है, उसमें हाइड्रोनियम आयन ज्यादा है। तो यहाँ पर pH वैल्यू 3 यहाँ 2016 में सबसे कम है, तो हमारा आंसर हो गया C। बिल्कुल याद रखना, H प्लस उसका ज्यादा होता है जिसकी pH वैल्यू कम होती है, और जिसका हाइड्रोजन आयन कंसंट्रेशन ज्यादा होता है वो उतना ही ज्यादा एसिडिक होता है। At what distance an object should be placed in front of concave mirror of focal length 20 cm to get an erect image? So in this question, an object is to be placed in front of concave mirror and which has the focal length of 20 cm in order to get the erect image. We receive the erect image when it is virtual. So all the properties erect, virtual and enlarged image, they are connected with each other. And just remember this thing, we get erect image, virtual image and from the concave mirror if we put any object between focal length and pole. So remember it, if we put any object between focus and pole, the object is placed in between focus and pole in case of concave mirror, then we get virtual, erect, enlarged image. Now here the focal length is 20 centimeter. Focal length is 20 centimeter. Okay, so the object should be placed less than 20 centimeter. So from the 4 options, we have only 10 centimeter which is less than 20 centimeter. So our option number A is the right answer. If we use a concave mirror of focal length 2.5 centimeter as a dentist mirror, that means a dentist uses a concave mirror in order to see the tooth. The distance of the tooth from the mirror is there are 4 options. That means where the dentist put that mirror, and that mirror is of the concave nature and of focal length 2.5 centimeter. Now dentists have to see the enlarged image of the tooth, okay, virtual image of the tooth. So a concave mirror always produces the enlarged mirror if it is put between pole and focus. If the object is put between pole and focus, then only its virtual and enlarged image can be get. Okay, in case for the concave mirror. So remember it. So from the options, less than 2.5 centimeter than focal length. That means mirror should be placed less than 2.5 centimeter. So option number A is our right answer. If two thin lenses of focal length 20 cm and minus 25 cm are combined to form a single lens, find the power combination. Now from this question we also learn what is the relationship between power and the focal length. When focal length is given in centimeter, we can find the power by dividing with 100, and unit of power is the diopter. Okay, now power 1 is equal to 100 by first is 20 centimeter and power 2 is equal to 100 by minus 25 because it is written over minus 25. So when we divide, we get 5 diopter and here we get 25 fours are minus 4 diopter. So net power of the combination P is equal to P1 plus P2, which is equal to 5 minus 4, which is equal to 1 diopter. So our option number B is the right answer. If the speed of light in air is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second and the speed of light in water is 2.2 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second, we have to find the refractive index of water. So whenever speed is given, how will we find the refractive index? When a speed is given, we can find a refractive index by speed in air over speed in medium. Okay, in this way we find a refractive index, and moreover a refractive index has no unit because it is the ratio of the same quantities. So 3 into 10 to the power 8 over 2.2 into 10 to the power 8. Both of them get cancelled. Now it becomes 30 over 22, that is 15, and this is 11. When we divide, we get 1.4. So option number A is the right answer. Now there is a figure. Light is incident from medium 1 to medium 2. Refractive index of medium 1 with respect to medium 2, and there are the options. Now in this case, whenever we have to find a refractive index, we have the formula sin I over sin R. Now we have to find refractive index of medium 1 with respect to medium 2. That means sin I is in the medium 1 and sin R is from the medium 2. Okay. For your convenience, I will write in this way. Now it is our medium 1 and this angle is made between ray and the normal, and here this is the normal and this angle is 45 degree. So overall this is 90 degree, so it becomes 45 degree. So this is the ray and this is the normal, so angle between them is 45 degree. Here this is the normal and this is the ray, so we have to find angle between them. So overall angle is 90 degree, so it becomes 60 degree. Now in medium 1 angle is 45 degree, so we write sin 45, and in medium 2 we write sin 60 degree. Now what is the value of sin 45? 1 by root 2. And what is the value of 60 degree? Under root 3 by 2. So when we solve, we get 2 over under root 3 into under root 2. So 2 get we converted under root 2 into under root 2, under root 3 into under root 2. Both them cancel. So our answer is root 2 over 3. So option number C is the right answer. Main thing is that the medium 1 with respect to medium 2. So medium 1 angle must be written in the numerator, medium 2 in the denominator, and after that when we find the angle, we find the angle between the ray and the normal. Okay. Now there is a prism, a white light deviates from the prism and it splits into 4 colors: red, orange, green and violet. Which color has the shortest wavelength? Now, you remember one thing. Whenever we write the VIBGYOR, violet is always in the bottom of the prism because it deviates most. And which deviates most has the shortest wavelength. जो सबसे नीचे आएगा उसी की वेवलेंथ सबसे कम होगी. सो अवर ऑप्शन नंबर टी. तो इसकी वेवलेंथ सबसे कम है तो इसकी स्पीड सबसे कम हो जाएगी. या याद कर लीजिएगा. और विबग्योर जब अगर कभी भी स्प्लिट करेगा तो वॉयलेट नीचे होता है, रेड ऊपर होता है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, विच कलर हैज मोर वेवलेंथ इन द प्रिज्म. अब मान लीजिए यही क्वेश्चन है, इसमें आपसे पूछा जाए किसकी वेवलेंथ ज्यादा है. तो विच डेविएट्स लीस्ट हैज मोर वेवलेंथ. ओके, यानी जो लीस्ट डेविएट करेगा, यानी जो टॉप पर रहेगा, उसकी स्पीड ज्यादा और उसकी वेवलेंथ भी ज्यादा. ओके, सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर. सो फ्रॉम हियर, विच कलर हैज मोर वेवलेंथ? दैट इज पी कलर हैज मोर wavelength. Now there is a picture of the prism in front of us and the question is, which color has more speed in the prism? It means that there's a white light, it falls on the prism and it splits up into 4 parts, P, Q, R, S. And in the question it is asked which color has more speed in the prism. That means P, Q, R, S are the different colors and we don't know what are they. But here at the top it is P. And in this question it is asked which color has more speed. So from the figure we can observe that P deviates least and S deviates most. So always remember, which deviates least has more speed. आप इसको लर्न कैसे करोगे? जिसका दिमाग ज्यादा नहीं भटकता उसकी पढ़ाई उतनी ही तेज हो जाती है. तो विच डेविएट्स लीस्ट, जो कम डेविएट होगा यानी जो टॉप पर रहेगा तो वो डेविएट कम हो गया, जो जितना ज्यादा डेविएट होता है वो उतना नीचे आ जाता है. तो विच डेविएट्स लीस्ट हैज द मोर स्पीड. Which statement is correct for the figure? Medium B has more refractive index, medium A is more optically denser medium. Both are same, but angle of incidence is critical angle. Medium A is denser, so it is optically rarer medium. यहाँ पर इस क्वेश्चन को करने के पहले मैं कुछ चीजें आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगी कि अगर मान लीजिए कोई रे ऑफ लाइट है, वो एक मीडियम से दूसरे मीडियम में जा रही है, ठीक है. तो यहां पर अगर रेयरर मीडियम है और अगर वो डेंसर मीडियम में आती है तो ये नॉर्मल की तरफ बेंड हो जाएगी। और अगर यहां पर डेंसर है और यहां पर रेयरर है तो ये नॉर्मल से दूर हट जाती है, बेंड्स अवे फ्रॉम द नॉर्मल। तो यहां पर ये एंगल ज्यादा हो जाता है, मान लीजिए 60 डिग्री है, ये एंगल 30 डिग्री। जो मीडियम डेंसर होता है उसका रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ज्यादा होता है। ओके, अब यहां देखिए ये एरो इधर बनाए, यानी लाइट इस मीडियम से इस मीडियम में जा रही है। तो अगर इसी लाइट को हम आगे बढ़ा दें तो ये एंगल बन रहा है। तो यहां पर देखिए, यहां पर ये नॉर्मल से जो एंगल है इस एंगल से कम है, यानी ये जो लाइट है जब मीडियम ए में पहुंच रही है तो ये नॉर्मल की तरफ बेंड कर गई, नॉर्मल की तरफ चली गई। दैट मीन्स अवर मीडियम ए इज मोर डेंसर। That means medium A has more refractive index. So medium A is more optically denser medium is our right answer. याद रखिएगा, जो मीडियम ज्यादा डेंसर होगा उसका रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ज्यादा होगा, और डेंसर मीडियम में लाइट जाने पर लाइट नॉर्मल की तरफ बेंड कर जाती है, मुड़ जाती है। The focal length of the lens is 10 centimeter. There is a lens having focal length 10 centimeter. Now 1/2 of the lens is covered with a black paper. This is the lens and 1/2 of the lens is covered with a black paper. Which one is correct? The image formed is half of the original image. The complete image is formed but of less intensity. Image is formed only above the principal axis. No image is formed. Okay. So whenever, for example, this is a candle and this is the optical axis. First ray goes like this and it goes like this. Okay. Second goes from the optical center and they meet here. So in this case the complete image is formed, but because of this black paper, complete image is formed but it is of less intensity and less brightness. A ray is reflected by a plane mirror. The angle of incidence for the reflected ray is, now this is the plane mirror and we have to find the angle of incidence. In case of plane mirror, when light travels or the incident on the plane mirror, it passes undeviated. Okay, so reflected ray just go over here. So incident ray just falls on the mirror and after that it reflects back. So angle of incidence for the reflected ray over here is 0 degree in case of a plane mirror.